counts of solicitation to commit murder.
Those carry life.
And 2 counts of witness tampering, which are tied into the same 2 counts.
But at the same time, too, you know, Big U has enough going on without the people of like WAC100 making a bad situation worse. But let's see where this is gonna go.
Counts to commit murder because you're committing murder in order to tamper with a witness. So that's really just one thing. And then 2 counts of wire fraud involving allegedly false information used to obtain an EIDL pandemic relief loan for his company, Celebrity Socks, and 1 count of conspiracy to transport women across state lines for prostitution. Allegedly arranging trips from LA to Las Vegas with co-defendant Armani Mani Aflehi.
Was let you know she's cooperating.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But she had been.
No, that doesn't let you know that she's cooperating because there's no statements. She's not. There's actually a category in the indictment centered around assets and witnesses. She's not mentioning assets and witnesses, but Wack is. So that's interesting that he's saying that.
Cooperating, and he knew she had been cooperating because a year or so before her arrest, I got a call. Hey, bro, this girl's cooperating on Big U. I'm like, cooperating on what? That's the taco truck lady. I was oblivious. So the people she was working with, Trap Kitchen, I called and alerted them, and they told her.
Right.
That's not how it happened either. Big shout out to Spank. Big shout out to Spank. But I'm sure that a conversation from Wack is not what prompted Spank to have, you know, just this whole back and forth 1-2 step like Sierra. Wack is just trying to flam the situation.
She cussed me out.
This is her right here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so you mean to tell me he's transporting her for prostitution?
No. They're allegedly saying.
I'm like, who's buying that?
Through wiretaps. This is what they're saying. They're saying.
Now Vlad is being disrespectful.
They were romantically involved.
Okay.
Those 2. But he's using her to bring other women. And it's crazy, bro, because this is like regular stuff. Hey, what's up? Yeah, bring like 6, 7 of your homegirls. We out here, we at the Venetian. Make sure they coming ready to do this, because just what the homies is on. Right? But they hearing this.
Transportation for prostitution?
Damn right. They're saying
you bring some go-girls, and that next thing you know, you're
there you have it.
Human trafficking?
You cross the state lines.
Shit, okay.
You're saying bring them. But hey, look, the homies gonna want to do this and that. You coming for me, right? But they're calling this sex trafficking. And they got Armani, she's cooperating. Which, and I'm gonna be real.
And it's crazy because as we're continuously going through these documents and going through these cases, we don't see her cooperation. We just don't see it. It's just not saying it's not there, but it hasn't been revealed to us by the federal government. And it's just amazing how Wack will sit up here and tell us about, you know, what everybody has going on, but there's no actual documents. So, you know, it just kind of makes us wonder why he's avoiding the actual documents that do exist, where he's named as a witness, as a victim, as a co-conspirator, and, you know, a few other things. But let's continue on.
I don't even knock her for it. She's a chick. She just had a baby, right? Which everybody believes is Big U baby.
Oh, shit, okay.
Right?
Nobody's ever said anything about that but you either. So even when it comes to that aspect, like, nobody's ever mentioned anything about that publicly or privately but you.
I'm gonna be real. It's to be expected. And I tell people from the streets, like, look, bro, don't never expect a woman that's not operating on your rules and your terms to stand in the fire like that. You know what I mean? So for them to come with an extra count, maybe she gave them a little something extra. But I mean, nevertheless.
But it's crazy that Wack just has this craziest deflection. And we've seen this with him a million times where he'll just full blown ignore the facts of situations to take away from his wrongdoing. So the deflection here is incredible. Like it should be studied, the mastery of deflection here. And it's not that it's even done in a way that people can respect and, you know, don't see what's going on. It's being done in a way that's just treating the general public like they're idiots.
Bro, Keefy D's in a way better situation than him. I think Big U's up to what, 50 counts?
That might be true.
Yeah, 50 counts.
I mean, look, bro, I I'm gonna be real. I don't know. Maybe you can look it up. You've been interviewing a lot of these mafia dudes. I don't know if John Gotti had 50 counts.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
That's a lot of counts.
Yeah, they threw everything at him. Everything they possibly could.
And what they couldn't figure out how to throw at him, they used your statements for in WAC100's Clubhouse, conversations and YouTube conversations and no jumper interviews and, whatever they couldn't figure out, Wack was able to kind of seal the cracks with.
It's being thrown at Big U, which is a shame, man, because I've always said, he's always been a good dude. He's always been a solid dude, man. I'm sad that he's in prison right now. And you can say whatever you want to say. Well, what about this murder, Vlad? What about this? I don't know about any of that.
Yeah, he hasn't been found guilty.
He hasn't been found guilty of the 187. And Wack is the one who was throwing the 187 at him, but even, now he's admitting that that's not true. So there's just so many, misconceptions and so many back and forth, so many things that are just not true about this sentiment.
Yeah, exactly.
But just looking at it, even the extortion, I still believe that Big U loaned that dude some money, and dude went ghost like he's done a few people I know. And I believe dude went to the feds and said, hey, this guy's trying to extort me. Can I work some time?
But the extortion, with that guy is one thing, but what about the extortion that took place with you chasing Future through the airport?
I'm off if I help you guys, pile up some charges on him. And I think every time Big U had collected 1,000 or 500, it had nothing to do with extortion. I believe he was really getting back what was owed to him. I believe this last situation with these two blood dudes and this murder for hire, I believe all that was orchestrated. You know what I'm saying? I believe, listen, they're stacking the deck on him, and Big U is not smart enough to understand that you're not smarter than them. You don't have more resources than them.
So, Wack, are you smart enough to realize that? Because it seems like you are, a victim of the same poison from what it looks like. It looks like you are, pretty much seemingly involved in the same level of flummery, skullduggery, and larceny in which you are accusing Big U of being a part of, but the only difference between he and you is you seem like you're a willing participant and a cooperating participant.
Thing is against you now. I ain't telling him to give up, but I wouldn't doubt Vlad if he starts to use the cards he have in his back pocket.
Well, Wack has been saying for the longest that Big U was going to testify and was going to snitch, but these things have yet to happen. He said that Loose Cannon was going to snitch, and that's yet to happen. We haven't seen any of the things that Wack said was going to transpire actually, in fact, transpire. And it's crazy because it's almost like for the last year, while Big U's been going through this, Wack knew, like I've been saying, that he was going to actually be a part of this situation in a way that would have led to him being exposed as a witness, cooperating, and at this point, even an accessory to an extortion by way of the Future situation. And it's incredible to see this situation take place and nobody really pay attention to the fact that Wack is the one who has been kind of guiding us through this entirety of the situation from the beginning. And 90%, 99% actually at this point of the information that he gave was false. Interesting.
I believe when he sees the paperwork, and he's been trying to get it, but they haven't been giving it to him, he wants to see everybody that gave statements against him. Now, I want him to get it because...
And that's perfect because I'm going to be following these. I've been saying it, but starting this month, I'll actually be able to go to the courthouse for these court dates. And when it comes to being able to see things like the statements against Big U and all that kind of stuff, everybody who gave statements, despite the fact of Wack already being named in the witness and the asset section, literally the witness and the asset section, WAC100 has 100%, been named out by the federal government. I will definitely have that. And I will be able to show you guys that paperwork. So don't worry about it. As more and more time comes out, I will be more than happy to get you guys these documents.
I want him to see you were very wrong about Mr. WAC100, right? I can't wait till they release this paperwork.
But see, here's the thing too. You're already literally named as a witness in the case. There's a section in the case where they're naming witnesses and assets, and you're there.
And when it come to me, Eddie Boy and 600. But I believe when
Eddie Boy and 600 aren't mentioned in the case at all.
Sees there's an abundance of his own peers from where he's from that's been given up, I think at that time he may go Sammy the Bull.
Man, listen, I hope he does. I hope Big U, at 59 years old, cooperates and closes some of these cold cases if he actually has this information. And, you know, all these grieving mothers and sons and daughters who are wondering what happened to their dad all those years ago might get some closure to the situation. At the end of the day, if all his own people are telling against him,
I believe once he sees that,
yeah,
I think he's gonna go rogue.
I hope he cooperates and he comes home. I hope
I'm
he
gonna
does.
be real. I mean,
I hope
listen,
he does.
his-
That makes me a snitch.
So wait, so now they're saying you hope he cooperates. Well, for the longest, Wack has been saying that Big U is cooperating. Big U's cooperating. So now Wack is being exposed by DJ Vlad for lying on Big U. Because if you hope he cooperates, that means that he hasn't cooperated. You can't hope somebody does something that they already did. Like, I'm breathing right now. You don't hope I breathe. I'm already breathing. So, interesting.
Or whatever else, that's fine. You can call me whatever you want to do. I hope he cooperates and comes.
You can call him a snitch. I hope he cooperates. All this shows that Big U has, in fact, not cooperated with anybody. Big U, in fact, has not, you know, had anything going on with these people that has been informative or helpful to law enforcement. So where does Wack get off calling this guy a snitch?
home, and I hope he has some, you know, some information that might close some of these cases that will allow him to do that. And that might be the reason why they're doing what they're doing to him right now, trying to put pressure on him until he finally actually does that.
Because I tell you what, it's a lot of nervous people. Because
I bet.
it's a lot of nervous people over there. But I'm telling you, I can't.
Well, there's a nervous person in the, you know, in front of us with, you know, the whole nervous man in front of us wearing a Cash Money chain that doesn't bling bling, wearing a black shirt, rubbing his eyes out of that same rope chain, old rope chain that he uses for every pendant that he has.
Not wait till February comes and they release everybody that has given statements on this guy, and I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna look at the world, and I'm a grin, because this is gonna turn Los Angeles upside down.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Unfortunately, those guys are going to do their jail time, and Wack, you're going to be named as a witness.
Because a lot of names that then gave up information on this guy.
Is it crazy that we keep looking at the documents and the only name we see constantly come up as an informant is Wack?
Now we're gonna see, well, what y'all gonna do? Oh, you're not gonna do nothing? So this whole stigma of what it is and what it's supposed to be and what's gonna happen is when they see nothing happens to any of these guys, that's gonna light a torch for everyone else to say, I'm saving myself. Right. I'm telling you, the dominoes are gonna fall.
So again, I don't want to hear any more of, you know, what he thinks is going to happen, because he's been a pretty bad crystal ball reader up until this point. But what we do know is this: Wack is actually named as a witness, asset, a victim, a co-conspirator, and an associate of Big U, all in the same indictment. So with that all being said, red dots to the left, you know the rest. Say a prayer and be blessed. We go.